What's up, guys? So I just wanted to make a short video um, about. So I've been getting a lot of friends that have asked me the same question regarding like Bible translations, and yeah, I'm no expert or anything like that, obviously, but I do know some things, and I've done some research on translations. So as far as Bible translations go, um, you have to understand first of all, like what translation is, the different styles that there are, and then how they apply, right? So the first thing you should know is that there's a Bible translation continuum, and that continuum is basically like from wrong side. So from left to right, on the furthest left hand side, you have what's called word for word translations, or formal equivalence translations. And what that is basically exactly like it sounds. It's very formal. In other words, it used the literal, direct, word for word, formal translation. And then on the other side of that spectrum is the thought for thought translation. These are like your paraphrases, your paraphrase translations. So, in absence of direct translatable words, for example, they use thought for thought to capture those moments or those pieces where a direct translatable word would not be um, as easily accessible, right? And then in the middle of that spectrum, sitting right in the middle of thought for thought and word for word, or thought for thought being paraphrase, or it'll be paraphrase, and the other end of the spectrum obviously being, like we said, word for word or formal equivalence. In the middle, you have what's called dynamic equivalence or optimal equivalence, which is basically like the in-between of both. So it's a mixture of thought for thought and word for word. And like, for example, I'll give you an example. The CSB, the Christian Standard Bible, that's right in the middle of the spectrum or the continuum. And that blends word for word and thought for thought to get the best of both forms of translation, right? Again, the Christian Standard Bible is a great Bible. It's a good study Bible. I have one. That's one of the ones that I use. I also use an NLT, which is a New Living Translation, but that's actually more towards the thought for thought side of the spectrum. If you want to get into what is the most direct word for word translation, you would want to go with the interlinear Bible, and that's the best word for word translation because it shows you from the Hebrew to the Greek to the English, right? And you can literally read it that way. So if you could YouTube it, if you go on YouTube and you just look up some of the interlinear Bibles, you'll be able to see how it reads directly across, so that there's no question as to what word means what. But sometimes that's not the easiest way to understand, right? So the example I like to use is, for example, in the Bible, you might see a verse or something talking about like money. For example, like 100 denarii, right? So a word for word translation might say 100 denarii, whereas a paraphrase or perhaps a dynamic equivalence Bible would say like a worker's 4 months' wages, right? Why? Because 100 denarii might not mean something to someone like us or someone like me if I don't understand the history, if I'm not in that time period to understand what that means, right? So is it a direct word for word translation of 100 denarii? No, not necessarily. But is it different? Also no, because it's telling you the significance of the 100 denarii. It's telling you, hey, this is the equivalent of 4 months' wages. So again, just wanted to kind of give a brief little, I guess, summary, so that you can kind of go check it out. Like more like pointing you in the direction of like where you could go check out some stuff. Go look at the Bible translation Continuum and go see where the different Bible translations line up on that continuum, and then see what suits best for you. And yeah, that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send me a message or a direct message or whatever on my Instagram. Jesus Saves Repent. And that's it. Peace of Christ be with you.